Hello everyone, I'm here to solve the odd even count Sudoku from Sudoku Mahabharat. This round was authored by myself, Ashish and Pranav. The round is over, but the Sudokus are still available for download. You can download and try to solve them. This was the highest pointer from the contest and created trouble for many solvers. So I thought of doing a video on this Sudoku. The rules are classic rules apply. So each row, let's just change to number mode. Okay, so each row, each column and 3 by 3 box in the grid has digits from 1 to 9 without any repetitions, and apart from that, an even number placed in a cell with a circle indicates the number of even numbers placed in the surrounding 8 cells, and odd number placed in a cell with a circle indicates the number of odd numbers placed in the surrounding cells. Numbers placed in cells without a circle may have either of these properties. So for example, if you have, let's say, 2 here, then this means that in the surrounding cells, so these are the only 3 surrounding cells here, there must exactly be 2 even numbers since you have a 2 here. Suppose let's say you have 1 here. So 1 is odd, which means in these 3 surrounding cells, you must have exactly 1 odd number. So basically the digit in the circle gives you the number of digits of the same parity as itself. So these are the rules. With that, we'll start this Sudoku. Okay, so I will try to use coloring here too. The solve will become really easier. So the way to start this Sudoku is by looking at this cell. You will have a 1 here because you can have only 1, 2 or 3 in this cell. 2 is eliminated and 3 is ruled out because you can't have 3 odds. So this is a 1, and which means now in this cell you will have exactly 1 odd. So let's keep that in mind. So if you look at this cell now, this is supposed to be a 3. You can't have 1 or a 2. So which means these 3 cells have to be odd. Let's mark them as odd. This is odd, 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 and this is also odd, right? Now coming back to this cell, this is going to be 1, 2 or a 3. 3 is ruled out because you have an 8, so it's 1 or a 2. And now regardless of whether this is 1 or 2, there must surely be 1 odd number here, right? So if you have 2 here, so there will be 1 odd, 1 even here to reach to 2 evens. And if you have 1 here, so still there will be 1 odd and the other will be even in here. So which means that regardless of 1 or a 2, there is exactly 1 odd number in this cell. Now if you look at row 8, all the 5 odds have been taken, so the remaining are even. Let's use red. Now let's look at this cell, right? This cannot be 3 or 5, so it is 1, 2 or 4, and 4 is not possible, which means you must have 4 even numbers in the surrounding 5 cells apart from 4. That is not possible because you only have 4 even numbers in a box. This is not 4, and 2 is also ruled out because you already have 3 even numbers, so 2 is not possible, which means this is 1, and that 1 odd has to be here, so which means there is 1 red and 1 even in these 2 cells. Okay, now that we know both of these are odd, so you can write in digits there 1 and 9, and rest must be even. So let's put that in. And now if you look at this cell, this is 1, 2 or a 3, and 1 is ruled out, so 2 or a 3. Now if you have 2 here, both of these must be even, right? And you already have 6 and 8 ruled out, so this must be a 2-4 pair, but you again have a 2 here, so clearly 2 is also ruled out, which means this has to be 3, and that puts all these as odd. Okay, So let's use a bit of Sudokuing here. 4 is not here and 4 is not here because these are green, so 4 goes here. And now we know that there is one odd here, if you remember, and that cannot be here because 3, 5, 1, 7, 9 are ruled out. So this is a 3. So which means this is odd and that is even. Okay, all these evens I'll quickly shed. And there is an odd here. Okay. And now that you have placed 1 here, so we know that this is a 2. Okay, so this is 4 or a 6. And look at this cell. It can be 1, 4, 6, 7, 9. But 9 can never be in a circle because maximum you have only 8 digits surrounding it. So 9 is ruled out. So it is either 1, 4, 6 or 7. 4 is ruled out. So 1, 6 or 7. And can you have 1? 1 is ruled out, right? Because you have 2 odd digits already. So 1 is also ruled out. Now if you have a 6 here, the slightly difficult thing to see at this stage is ruling out 6 also. If you have a 6 here, all these are even. But if the moment you get a 6 here, right, if you have a 6 here, this becomes odd because 2, 8 and both of these are even, so this will be odd. So which means this can never be a 6, right? So that's a 7. Let's make that 7 and make that blue. And which means you already have 1 even here, so the rest are all odd. These all will be odd. Okay, now we can do some Sudokuing. So this is 1, 9. And if you look at this box, these 3 are even and 1 even is going here. So these 2 will be odd. So look at row 7 now. 5 odds are already filled in. This will be even, which means that has to be a 4 or a 6. And this will be 1 or 9 for the box. And 1 is here, so that's a 9. That's a 1. And let's use some coloring too here. So you have 4, 6 here, so which means in this box 4 or 6 must be here. Now let's look at this cell. It cannot be 1, 7, 9, 3 and 5. So this is going to be 2, 4, 6 and 8. 8 is quickly eliminated because you can't have 8 evens. There are already 3 odds here. 8 is eliminated. And for the same reason, 6 is also eliminated because you can have a maximum of only 5 evens, right? 3 are already odd. 6 is eliminated. So this is 2 or a 4. Okay, 2 is also eliminated because if you have, let's say, let me put in red 2 here, you have already 2 events here. So all these will be odds. And that gives you 6 odds in row 6. Look at this row. There are already 6 odds, which is not possible. That can only be 5 odds. So 2 is eliminated. So that's a 4. Okay, which means this will be 6. And this is a 2-8 pair, which is resolved instantly because of this 2. And this is 6. This is 4. Okay. And look at these 2 cells. 3, 5 and 1 are eliminated. So this is a 7-9 pair. Okay. And let's look over at this cell now. Before that, let's finish off column 2. 1, 3, 7, 9 and this is odd. So this is a 5, which means these 2 cells must be 2, 4 and they become even. And this is green, so this must be 1 or a 3. Look at this cell, 3, 5, 6, 4, 7, 9. So this is 1, 2 or 8. Can you have an 8 here? Not possible, right? because that means all the surrounding cells are even, but there is already one odd. This is 1 and 2. So this is the moment that if solvers had seen fast, you would have progressed to the next stage of the solve really quickly. It wasn't very difficult to see, but during the contest this might have been a difficult step. So the thing is that you can't have 2 here. Let's first put 1 and 2 in there and make this red. Let's say you have 2 here. Oh, sorry. You have a 2 here. You already have 2 even numbers. So which means all these are odds. Now if you quickly see that, you won't get any contradiction instantly. But the thing is, if both of these are odd, in column 3 you have 6 odds, right? That cannot happen. This might have been difficult to see, but I thought this really exploited the variant rule really well, so I just made it this way. So which means this is not a 2, this is 1. Now you will get a lot of progress. The moment you write 1 here, you'll get a lot of progress. So we get a 1, we have already 1 odd here. So all these are even, right? Because 1 odd is already satisfied. Now look at column 4, there are 4 evens already. So rest are all odd. And this has to be even now, the left out cell. Now that can be used to make some more digits in row 9. So this is 4 and this is 7. These will be 3, 5, 9. Okay, so 1 here gives me a 3 here. And 4 evens along that column. So these are all evens, which means this will be a 6, 8 pair. So you have 3 evens here, so this is even. Let's make that red. And that has to be an 8 now. So this will be a 2, 4. You have 2 here, so this is 4 and this is 2. So you can see that because of this one, lots of progress you're able to obtain. Okay, now let's visit this cell. This can't be 1, 2, 4, 6 and 7 and 8. So 9 is also rolled out. So this is 3 or a 5. Now this is the next tricky part in the solve, the final part in the Sudoku. The way to see here is, you'll see that these 3 cells will have at least 2 odds, right? It is all centered around this circle because you have 3 even numbers here. So these 3 cells will have at least 2 odds. And similarly, these 3 cells will have at least 2 odds because you have 3 evens here. So maximum you could put 1 even number in these 3 cells. And so still the remaining 2 will be odds. The same thing applies here. So already we have 4 odds in these 6 cells. So which means this can never be 3 because you have 4 odds at least in these surrounding cells. So which means this has to be a 5. That's the final part here. So now the Sudoku should finish off fast. So this is 2, 6, 8. It's not a 6. Okay, so this is a 2. It's an even number. And this is a 6 or 8. This is not 6 or 8. So 4 goes here, which means this is resolved, 4 and 2. And that 4 gives a 4 here. And using Sudoku, you get a 4 here. And look at this column. You need 5, 6 and 7. This is not 5 or a 6, so this is a 7, which means these would be 5, 6 pair. Okay, so I said that these two, at least 2 will be odds, right? No, let's just use this to finish off this row. 1, 2, 6, 8 and 4, 5, 7. So this is 9 and this is 3. Now look at this cell. So this has become odd, so which means I said minimum 2 cells will be odd here and minimum 2 will be odd here. Now that we have got one odd already in this cell, so it's clear to us that exactly 2 will be odd in these 3 cells and exactly 2 will be odd in these 3 cells, right? And the remaining cell must be even. So which means this cell is odd, right? Because the 4th even is going in these 3 cells. And similarly, this cell is odd because the 4th even is going in these 3 cells. And this cell is not even because you already have 4 evens in this row. So this is odd. This cell, I mean. This has to be, let's mark it green, has to be 5, 6. And that resolves that. So this is 6 and 8. These are all odds. Okay, so this is odd, right? Make use of that. So 3, 9, 1 and 5. So this is 7. Oops. That's a 7. So that gives 7 and 9. And 1 in this row has to go here. And this is odd. So that's a 5. That will be 6 or 8. Okay. Three and 9, so this is 5. And this is not 5 or a 9, so that's a 3. That's a 9. And 3 in box 5 goes here. Okay, these two cells will be 3, 6, 8. I have 6 here, so this is 3, 8. This is 1 for the column. This will be 7, 9. This will be 1, 7. Now 8 in box 5 has to be in one of these two cells, which means this is 6. This is 8, 6. This will be 2 or 8. And 8 is already here, so that's a 2. That's 8. This will be 2. So this will be 5, 7, 8. There's no 8 here, no 5 here, and no 5 here. So this is a 5. So getting some slow progress. And these two cells can be put in 8 and 9, which means these are filled. So that's 3 and that's 6. And 3 in row 4 goes here. Okay, now these two cells will be 7, 8 and 9. Okay. 8 is not here. Okay, time to make use of this clue, this one clue. So at the very start we deduced that this must be 1 and there must be one odd here, which has to be this. This is a 9, this is 8. This is 7, this is 8, this is 8, this is 7, this is 9, 7, 1, this would be 9, 1 and 2, so 2 and 1. And now if you tally the count of odds, you will see that all the clues are satisfied, of course, without which the Sudoku would have been broken. So hope this was a Sudoku which you really enjoyed during the contest, and sorry if it caused trouble to majority of solvers, but I thought that this had a nice solve path. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.